Hey P2P members, Coach Brian back with you, and get ready for daily mobility, next level jaw training. So we are going to add a little bit of load today. There's a saying, increase the load to increase the learning. So these drills you can do with the use of little gentle resistance with your own hands, or if you have a nifty resistance band, I'll show you one of these you can also do with that. The opposing joint for our jaw in the nervous system is our tailbone, or the coccyx. And so let's do a forward bend just to assess. If you're somebody that has had tailbone issues in the past, interestingly enough, sometimes the root cause is not actually in that area. It might actually be in the opposing joint, or the one that's linked to, kind of like paired to that joint in the nervous system. So what we're going to do is stand up nice and tall, lock the knees, bring the feet together if you're comfortable with that stance as far as balance goes, and then just reach forward. Keep the knees locked as you do this assessment, and we'll go in and out a few times, get an idea for how far you can reach down, and then we're going to work on the jaw a little bit. So I do want to say go slow, and if you have any jaw issues, definitely get checked out by a healthcare professional, not just me talking to you on camera. Actually have someone look at you that can help work with you more specific to your situation. If your jaw's pretty healthy, you just want to work on strengthening it and seeing some of the impact that this can create in other areas. Other good assessments might be like a shoulder range of motion if your neck is often tight or feels a little sticky. So for me, flexion. Sometimes I want to see if I can get a little improvement in that range of motion too. So you could do a chin tuck in addition to that forward bend. First one we're going to do is stepping up what we did with jaw glides in a previous daily mobility, and now we're going to load it a little bit. So again, go slow, go gentle with this. This is a sensitive area. It connects to the facial nerve, cranial nerve 5, cranial nerve 7. So we have a lot of nerve endings, sensory nerve endings in this area. And because of that, go slow. So we're going to press in gently on the jaw and then slide it back and forth, right to left. So this hand here is just providing a little bit of pressure, light resistance. Mouth is about halfway open. And then we resisted one way, so we want to resist going back the other way. In theory, if one of these feels way better than the other, you might want to do more work on that side that feels better. So sliding. Side to side with that gentle pressure. And then we'd go back and reassess. So maybe it's chin tuck, it's a little bit better. Maybe you did a forward bend, so lock the knees, go into that. That one's definitely better for me. So those resisted lateral glides seem to be a positive or a high payoff drill. So note that. Definitely continue to use your favorite joint mobility drills. Sometimes that's an indication from just your brain and body communicating to you that you need more of that type of stimulus. So good ones to jot down. The next one we're going to do is a forward back glide with some light pressure. So again, light pressure. Start light. You can gradually ramp these up over time a little bit if you're comfortable with it and don't have any contraindications in this joint in this area. So we're going to lengthen up nice and tall, and then with some gentle pressure, I'm pushing back in this case. Slide the jaw forward to back. And then, of course, we're going to reassess. So go ahead and check whatever you wanted to reassess after that one. And that actually tightened things up a little bit for me. So the resisted AP glide, not anterior to posterior, not as helpful as the side to side. And that's why we want to get really specific with this and make sure that you have your high payoff drills, your high performance drills. The next one we can do with a band or with some gentle pressure. It's resisted opening of the jaw. So I'll show you with the band first, and then if you don't have a band, you would just gently pressure with your hands where I'm placing the band underneath the chin, underneath the line of the chin. So if you're using your hands, awesome. If you got a band, we're going to loop this, get the excess from the band out of the way. I know this looks super awesome. And we're going to use one hand to pull up and make sure you're anchored under the chin so this doesn't slide off. And I actually want to take my other hand and hold it in place to ensure that we're not sliding the band off the edge of the chin. So that doesn't feel awesome if it whips up and hits your nose, hits your eye area. So we're going to go ahead and hold there and then open gently. And opening and closing a few times, and then let's reassess. It's a little bit better again. Inflection, let's try our forward bend. And definitely better on the forward bend. So resisted opening, another high payoff. Keep track again of how that impacted you. We often chew our food, right? And we're always resisting that closing of the mouth, but we hardly ever resist opening of the mouth or create actual counter pressure, counter force in that opening position. So I find that can be a really helpful and impactful area for reducing stress in the head, the neck, the TM joint when we do some resisted opening like that. The next one is Z-Health, they call it the Pac-Man Stretch. So we're going to basically create this little anchor point with the hands, thumbs are up, and we're going to place that over the edge of the chin, okay? I'm then going to set the mouth to an open position and very gently do these little, I will say very small and very gentle knots, because this is an actual stretch of that TM joint, tempo-mandibular joint. And so we're going to open the mouth. And do some very small knots. It might feel weird at first. As I've practiced this one, it actually feels really good, and it creates sort of a decrease in tension in the face, in the jaw area. So let's retest. It seemed to produce a positive, and then pretty good on that one too. So hope you got a lot out of these. The jaw is a super important joint. Again, we talked about how in Western medicine they say it's the only joint in your cranial system that actually moves. And so because of that, and because it's tied to some survival tasks like talking and eating and really important stuff, we want to keep it healthy, and you might see really cool ripple effects in strength, flexibility, maybe modulation of pain in other areas just from working up here. Thanks, I'll see you in the next one.